Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Between Sessions with Berries. I'm excited to have our guest today, you guys. We have Carly Hill here with us. If you don't know who she is, go check her out. She's got a ton of cool content out there. She's a business strategist, a mentor who helps clinicians turn their expertise into thriving, scalable coaching businesses. Carly specializes in high-ticket group programs, organic marketing, and sustainable strategies that help therapists expand beyond the therapy room without burning out. She's here to tell us what it really takes to transition into coaching, build a brand online, and create a business that's both profitable and aligned. Carly, welcome to Between Sessions with Berries. I'm glad to have you here.
Thanks for having me. What a beautiful introduction. And I couldn't be more excited to have this real, candid, raw conversation today about outgrowing the office.
Yeah, I love it. I think every therapist listening is probably feeling like they're ready to outgrow the office with everything going on in the world right now. Everybody seems like they're super burned out. Let's just kind of dive into it. How did you get into this world of business strategy for therapists? How did you find yourself here?
Yeah, so this is my lived experience. I'm an LCSW. I'm a therapist by trade. I still hold my license. I was in nonprofit, community mental health. I did the brick and mortar 9-to-5 therapy jobs. I had my own successful private practice. I always tell the story where I actually worked for BetterHelp for like 3 months as well.
Oh, no.
I've done, yeah, oh no is right. I've done all the different quote unquote therapy jobs, if you will. But when I started my private practice, I always thought that that was the end goal. And that's what they teach us in school. And we cracked the code. We finally made it type thing when you have your private practice. But I was still capped on my income. I was back-to-back sessions, no time to pee, shoving trail mix in my mouth between sessions. And I called my mom. She's a social worker as well. And I was like, this isn't it. Something has to change. And of course, on Instagram, I'm seeing all of these coaches. And I was like, well, what do they know that we don't know? And how are they so successful? I went to years of school. I hold a license. I have certifications, every letter of the alphabet. And so starting to study the online coaching industry, but also studying, well, what is the difference between therapy and coaching? Nobody really teaches us that in school. And if I want to coach, how can I do that while protecting my license that I worked really hard for? And so I started speaking with attorneys as well. Long story short, I launched my own coaching business because I realized that I was coaching the whole entire time in my quote unquote private practice, right? I had a private practice. I was a therapist. And so I was doing therapy, right? That's what I thought. But I was helping clients with more situational, non-clinical, less severe problems. I was coaching. Did I give them adjustment disorder, anxiety unspecified? I'm not afraid to say I did. Yeah. I mean, I think that maybe we've all done that as therapists, and you don't know what you don't know. Again, I was a therapist with a private practice, so I thought I was doing therapy. And I think that so many therapists, I know this now, helping thousands of therapists, they are coaching the whole entire time in their private practice. Or maybe they're not, but they want a breath of fresh air and they want to do something else, a different niche, or they're sick of the interjurisdictional model and how our board is not up to date with the revolution of the internet. And there's so many ways that therapists can impact more lives, make more money unapologetically, and still leverage their clinical knowledge. And that's exactly what I did. And I'm just a natural teacher at heart. And so when I started creating courses and digital products and had my success moving from private practice to coach, my therapist friends started asking me, like, Carly, how are you doing this? How are you packaging your services? What are you charging for it? What business model are you using? And then I created a program that's now called the Coach Intensive. Previously, it was called Therapist to Coach Accelerator, to teach therapists how they can have coaching, protect their license, do it ethically, do it legally, figure out their niche, create their high ticket program. When should you do high ticket and mid ticket and low ticket? And most importantly, how do I get people to actually raise their hand and buy my stuff? And how do I get seen? And then oh my gosh, I'm going to be seen. And I have all these visibility wounds from being a therapist and being taught, don't self-disclose, don't be seen. And so there's a lot of undoing in the process. But the premise is more freedom, more flexibility, more security, while simultaneously transforming lives.
Absolutely. Oh, I love that message so much. That's the message I want the whole world to hear. So you're in your private practice. You're like, something's got to change. You start seeing all these other coaches. What did you do? Were you like, I need a program right away? Or are you like, I'm going to piecemeal this together, just kind of like watching what others are doing, and then you developed a system that way? I always wonder about that with people. It's like, did you get a coach to help you become a coach or what? Maybe walk us through that process a little bit.
Yeah, I did hire mentors. I have been burned in this space. I do understand why coaching sometimes gets poo-pooed on, but that didn't stop me. I remember a few times coming out of my office and telling my husband, like, babe, I just dropped 10 grand again. I'm investing in this next mentor. I had to figure out copywriting and marketing and sales. It can all be learned. So did I piecemeal it together? Yes. Did I hire mentors? Yes. Was it rainbows and butterflies? No. Did I start off with a group program and a digital course? No. I built it as I went along. I started off one-to-one, but I did charge a package model. You have to kind of get out of this mindset of my sessions are $150 an hour to, okay, I'm going to offer a 3-month, 6-month, 12-month package, and this is what's included in it. And there is some recorded content. There is some one-to-ones. There's a bonus of XYZ. So I was doing hypnosis at the time and energy work and card readings and stuff. So I would layer all of that stuff into the transformations that I was providing for clients. So that's how I personally started, was charging $1,750 per month with my package, one-to-one work. And then I started creating courses from there. Manifestation courses. I think one of my first courses was also called Woo World, and it was like introductory into the spirituality realm and teaching how you can do card readings and using pendulums and all of those things as well. So
wow, I never knew that. That's really cool.
Yeah, I know. You and I go way back, and I feel like we've had a lot of conversations, but not everybody knows or sees that side of me. I'm very much known as high ticket business, sales, marketing, but that was my coaching business prior to moving into becoming a business coach.
That's amazing.
Was doing women empowerment and manifestation and subconscious work and energy healing. Yep.
I love that. And I love the message too. And I talk about that a lot on here in my other podcast too. Like, it doesn't have to be this perfect trajectory, right? So you start out with Woo World and all this stuff, and now you've totally transformed into this other thing that you're doing. So a lot of people, I think, I don't know, you probably see it. And I was going to ask you, like, what's the biggest mindset blocks? But I think they think, I've got to have it all planned. I've got to know exactly. I've got to have an exit strategy. I'm even wondering, like, how long were you still in your private practice and doing coaching before you transitioned out?
Yeah. I actually morphed my private practice into my coaching business because I was coaching the whole entire time, right? I didn't really need to file a separate LLC. If I were to keep my private practice, then yeah, that would have made sense. But there is a lot of mindset shifts that go with this. And I do think that people get tripped up about their niche. One of the biggest roadblocks is I have to have it all planned out, like you said. And oh my gosh, this is going to be my niche for forever. Or better yet, how do I even pick my niche? Because as a therapist, I'm used to solving every problem under the sun or morphing into whoever's in front of me. Or I don't want to alienate this person if I pick this as my niche because my heart wants to save the world. So there's so many complications that come with figuring out your niche. And I always say, once you do figure it out, it's like the red carpet rolls out and you can actually plug and play this strategy and posting on social media and attracting clients and getting them to pay you and making your business an actual business, not just a thought or a hobby. But it is one of the blocks. I always tell the story actually of when I was in that transition of my private practice to my coaching business to then my business coaching business. I was part of a networking group, and they'd make you stand up at the beginning and who are you and what referrals are you looking for? I kid you not, every single time I stood up, I introduced myself as a different person. I had a different niche and I was looking for different referrals. So it's okay to change niches. It's okay to be whoever you want to be and serve whoever you want to serve at any given time. It's not permanent.
I love that so much. I feel like I've changed what I do like 15 times. Because, I mean, it changes as I change, you know? It's like, okay, initially it was like insurance billing because that's what I was having problems with right then. So I wanted to turn that into a solution for everybody. But now, I mean, that's like not even in my realm really that much anymore. So I have a whole team that's hiring that part or doing that part for me now. But I've changed to different niches and I just transition along the way, you know, which is a good message for people to hear that you yourself have gone through these iterations of yourself and it's fine. It works out. Yeah.
It is fine. I will say, though, I don't condone niche hopping only for the sole reason of it's not working. If you pick a niche and you're like, I think I should change my niche. This isn't really it. Like nobody's buying. Well, maybe let's look at the other parts of your business first, because if that's truly what you're passionate about, it's your own story, we can make it work. And we need to do more market research. We need to change your messaging. We need to look at, is it a volume issue? Maybe you don't have enough eyeballs on your stuff. Is it a marketing copy issue? Is it an offer problem? Is it a sales problem?
Absolutely. Yeah. So on top of that, what are some other mindset things that you see therapists struggling with that want to maybe transition into this coaching world? And I know you kind of alluded to the money mindset stuff. I wonder if we could dive into that a little bit. What do you see the struggle is for therapists?
Oh, yeah. The money mindset, the niching, the visibility wounds. With the money mindset, it's one, even investing in themselves. I think that if you're a coach in the online coaching industry, it's very normalized to get business coaches and get mentors and invest to learn and grow. And I don't know, maybe this is just personal experience, but even when I started my private practice, I felt like I had this conditioning that I should have already known what to do. Like I just went to years and years of school and I have all these certifications. Shouldn't I know how to start a private practice? Like I felt like I had to piecemeal it together, or I felt maybe defeated that I had to invest again after I had just paid my dues for so long. I felt like even doing all this dirty work in community mental health and having caseloads of 30 clients and getting paid dirt money, I did kind of have this mindset of like, give me a break. And I was fearful to invest as well. What if this doesn't work? And so I think that's the first mindset hurdle to get around, is one, that it's not just paying for a mentor, it's an investment. The whole point is to get a return, and we're not supposed to do this alone. Nobody teaches this. It is like going to business school again. And this is something that they should teach us in grad school, and maybe one day they will, but it's okay to not know, and everything can be learned. I didn't know anything about marketing or copywriting or sales. I didn't know what a CRM system was. I didn't know what a funnel was other than the one in my Tupperware drawer, right? So I was a therapist, and I kept also telling myself the story of like, I'm just a therapist, not a businesswoman. And that was not serving me. So I had to first change at the identity level. I am a businesswoman. I can figure this out. I am successful. And then it was then okay for me to invest in mentors and not feel guilty for doing so, and look at it as an investment over and over again. Like I said, when I would come out of my office, like, babe, just dropped 10 grand again on this mentor. Like I knew it was a non-negotiable that it was going to work out. So the money mindset of first investing in yourself, but then once you do and you're doing the thing, it's like, well, who's going to pay me? People have a rough time even paying $150 a session. Who's going to pay me $5,000 for my program? And this is where being hyper specific with your niche does play a huge part, because it actually feels good for clients to invest high ticket in something. It's like buying first class in an airplane. When you're doing that, you know you're going to feel well rested. You're going to get good treatment. Or buying the 5-star hotel, like that actually felt good to you. when you wanted to do that for a specific reason. And so if you can position it in a way and you can have this wrapping paper on it where it actually makes sense for the client, and maybe they're not meeting criteria for diagnosis, they don't need to be treated for medical necessity, they don't need to go to therapy, or they've hit a plateau, they've been in therapy and they just need to be coached, then it will make sense for them. And it's truly a win-win. They don't need to go to therapy for 3 years at $150 and spend 36 grand. They could just come into your super specific program to solve their super specific, persistent, painful problem for $3,000 and then be done with it. It's the ultimate win-win.
Right. And something I love about you is you're so confident in it. I feel like once you make the mindset shift, you can talk about it in a way that's like, yeah, I mean, this is the first class ticket, duh. You're not going to say it that way, but just having that mindset shift and believing in it yourself is also going to put across that authenticity that it's worth it. What you're offering is worth it.
100%. And I say that to my clients all of the time, like, this should be a no-brainer for your clients. And you need to believe in it yourself first. If you're having the mindset of, well, who's going to pay me? Nobody's going to pay you. But if you have the mindset of, this is a freaking steal that they're getting, I should be charging double this. And that is rule of thumb. Your program should be valued at double, triple what the actual investment is. Then you can get behind it with confidence and conviction, and then it's going to sell like hotcakes. But that's just the truth too. That's not bluffing here. When my clients do what I call a value stack, their offer stack, all their deliverables inside their program, their bonuses, their guarantees, that's when they start to have that aha moment and they're like, oh yeah, this is worth double, triple. They are getting this deal. And then of course we have payment plans and we make it very easy for them to pay us. And it sounds mean, but essentially your client would be stupid to say no.
Right.
That's
you
how
got to
good
make it a
is.
no-brainer offer. Right.
Yeah.
I love that.
No-brainer.
Yeah. I listened to Carly's podcast. You guys should listen to it too. It's really good, especially if you're already kind of in the coaching world. Recently, you've had some episodes about this mindset around scaling as the owner of a coaching program, and the mindset around that. It's helped me to like kind of get out of this mindset block that like, if you want to earn in the millions, you've got to invest, like what you're talking about. And even on small scale, for somebody who's just starting out, invest in a VA or something like that. That mindset shift, I think, is huge. To bring in a team, like really spend money on people that can help you and support you so you can scale. So like you could be in that zone of genius that only you can do and let the rest of the people do that other stuff for you. I just think that's an amazing mindset shift that a lot of people don't ever understand, and they drown in these side offers that they're trying to do. So.
And also, if you hire a virtual assistant or people on your sales team who are commission-based or whatever those first hires that you make, if you don't know how to properly train them, they're going to leave and the turnover is going to be there. And so you have to invest on multiple different levels. One, at the CEO level of even knowing where you're driving the bus and what is your client infrastructure and what are the numbers that you're trying to hit and the KPIs, et cetera, but then also reverse engineering that process for your team who's underneath of you and making sure that they're clear. You can't just hire somebody and then they're like, what can you do for me? You have to tell them what to do for you.
Exactly. Yeah. So can you walk us through your program a little bit to help people understand? Because maybe people are listening to me say like, breaking $1 million in your coaching business. They might be like, okay, that's like way out of the realm of where I am right now. So maybe let's bring it back to the beginning. Say somebody's maybe listening to this and they're like, yeah, I've got to get out of this one-to-one. It's killing me. What does your program start? What are the basics that somebody would be learning or that they would need to learn to be able to transition out of this full caseload that they're doing? Like we were like doing a quick start kind of thing. What would you tell somebody?
Yeah, so I'll answer that. But I also want to say that my program is meant for somebody who is leaving the one-to-one work. They don't have their LLC filed. They need the attorney approved paperwork. They don't know their niche. But it's also meant for the person who already has a successful online coaching business and they're trying to scale to the next level. They want to make their first $1 million. They need these 6-figure pops of cash and they're going to do XYZ conversion event to get there. It's purposely segmented out in that way to help the people that are newbies they're in the foundational phase, or maybe you're in the growth phase, that middle phase, or you're in that third scaling phase. And so I have this assessment that clients fill out at the very beginning, kind of like a quiz, not a pass fail, but where are you and where do we need to zoom in and laser focus on your business? Now, to answer your question, assuming that you're in one-to-one work, you got to get out of this. What are the first steps? If I say, yes, Carly, I'm joining your coach intensive program, what is this going to look like for me? First, it's protecting your license. So it is making sure that you're filing a separate business entity. If you do have, let's pretend you have a private practice, then making sure you have the privacy policy, terms and conditions, all of those things that need to be on your website, those attorney approved coaching contracts. I give all of that to my clients. So make sure they're in compliance first. Let's get their legal ducks in a row. Tons of trainings from attorneys on all of that stuff. And then we move into your niche. Like we discussed, we have to beef out your messaging. Who are you serving? Is this a viable, marketable niche? Is it going to pass the high ticket test? Or is this too vague? Is it going to fall on deaf ear? Is it a little too flowery? I'm not afraid to say that to you as your business coach and protect you. And maybe we just need to revamp it. Maybe there's something else that you wanted to do, but you're just afraid to do it. And so spending a little bit of time on that. And then we go into setting up your social media and actually posting and creating lead magnets and freebies and setting up funnels and going live and being visible and getting paying clients. I had a client the other day who said to me, it's like, my dream come true and worst nightmare is happening right now. People are coming and it's working. And like, this is what you signed up for, right? So then it's also working through that mindset of the visibility wounds that come up. And then it's just doubling down and continuously improving your lead flow and your organization. And maybe it is hiring a team so that you can buy back some of your time. And I teach them where to find a VA and how to hire one and how to interview one, etc.
Yeah, and that leads into, I mean, we've kind of already talked about it a little bit, but I hear you talk about how to scale and sustain. And do you feel like that's all in the team that you hire? Or like, what are some strategies around that part? How do I continue to scale it? And how do I sustain this thing if it starts to get huge, like $1 million business a year or something like that?
Yeah.
What do I do?
It's systems, it's team, and it's leadership.
Nice.
You have to have everything documented. If you were to take a sabbatical, would your business still run? You have to have very clear KPIs and numbers. Everybody needs to know their marching orders, what they're doing, when they're doing it by. You need to have proper systems. I love to use ClickUp. I use Go High Level. So I run internal team meetings and we have opportunity lists that we bring up on every single meeting and we discuss. And there was a point in time where I went on maternity leave. I wasn't part of some of those meetings and I was trusting other team members too much to run the show, but it was because I didn't guide them with enough leadership to run the show. And I had to take responsibility as the CEO for that. And so when I came back, I set the tone again. I'm not just friends with all of my team members. I am the CEO. And you have to have these SOPs in place, the KPIs in place, the marching orders. You got to keep your finger on the pulse as a leader. So that's what I mean when I say leadership. It's leadership. It's team. Your team will absolutely take you to $1 million, multiple million, 8-figure business. You got to have a dream team. And talent acquisition becomes just as important as client acquisition. You've dialed in client acquisition. You know how to get clients. You can turn on the faucet and you can get more clients anytime you want to get more clients. That's a beautiful place to be. But when you're in the $1 million mark, that's what's happening. Then you need a dream team to support you. And it is also infusing AI to help your clients get faster results and to help you streamline your team and stay organized. So wherever you can infuse AI as well, I would say that's definitely the era that we're in. I call it the AI renaissance. And now you're speaking my language, Carly.
Yeah, you know it.
Yeah.
I love it.
But it will help the process tremendously.
Yeah. So we'd love to talk about technology on this podcast for sure, and AI. Do you have like a go-to AI tool that you just love, like you use every single day that helps you run your business?
Well, we use ClickUp. So I have the AI ClickUp,
Nice.
Notion, the AI in Notion. So the tools that I'm already using natively in my business, they have AI integrations in them, which help us go faster. My immediate thought was Carly AI is what came to me. So my own AI that I've created, which is really meant to be your fractional CMO. And so how I created that in the first place was for myself, to do all of my email marketing, to help me audit my clients' niches, to reverse engineer launch plans, to audit the sales calls that is happening with my team. And so all of those things is now available to the public through Carly AI. It's $97 a month. Other than that, I've been exploring Replit, creating an app right now, Gamma for creating slide decks. Oh gosh, the list could go on. I mean, of course, ChatGPT, Claude, love. Yeah.
You like Claude better or ChatGPT? I'd love to ask that question. It seems like people are really decided on this one.
I'm indifferent. I think my answer is ChatGPT just because I'm more comfortable with it. It's almost like that's my baby, and that's kind of where I started, and that's where I create custom GPTs and things like that. But I do think that Claude is more diverse.
Yeah, definitely, especially with all the new releases recently. I've been doing a deep dive for my Clinical AI Club, just trying to update the intro to AI section, because I did that section like 4 years ago now when I started that Clinical AI Club. And somebody said to me the other week, they're like, this is so outdated, Kim. And I'm like, you're right. It's super outdated. So I've been revamping like Claude Cowork, Claude Code. It's just incredible, all these different ecosystems that you can dive into these days. So yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. You're going to be updating for the rest of your life because it's forever evolving. Yeah.
It's tough. But anyway, I could totally geek out over AI stuff all day long. But I love it. I love Carly AI. And I have to say, almost all the stuff I've created started with my own problems too. You know, I need AI to do this for me. Now, how do I change it up so I can put it out there into the world and help everybody else too with the same thing I figured out? So I love that you're doing that. I think it's amazing.
Yeah. And I think that AI can be intimidating sometimes. But again, we don't know what we don't know, and it can be learned. And just play with it here and there if it is intimidating to you, like trial and error. We were talking off camera, off recording. What did we even do without AI prior? How did we build our whole entire coaching business and scale it to what it was before we implemented AI? And so just know that if it's possible without it, if you can just dabble and play around with it, you don't have to be a master of it. It can really help you collapse the timeline. It can be your friend.
Absolutely. Yeah, we were talking about that. My very first membership for insurance billing, I researched every detail by hand and cross-checked with all references, and I typed it all out. You know, it was just, when I think about it now, it's like, I cannot believe I created that entire program by hand like that, and how quickly I could do it now with AI. It just blows my mind. Yeah, I love those tips, and just like starting out with one little thing, even ChatGPT, just playing around a little bit. And I always tell people, for those of y'all listening, like, just figure out a problem in your business right now that just seems overwhelming, just one little bottleneck, and see if you can find an AI tool to help you with that, and just maybe start small like that. So
100%.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love how into AI you are too, and how you're integrating it into all your products and everything you're selling. I think it's amazing. So how do people find you, like Carly AI and your program and all of that? Where do people go to find you and get into your ecosystem?
Yeah. So come follow me on Instagram. I'm at Carly Hill Coaching. And you can also go to carlyhillcoaching.com, and that will lead you to my plethora of resources. And if you're interested in mentorship, tons of different options there as well.
That's amazing. And one thing I'll add, because y'all listening, you might have heard babies in her background and my background, babies crying. How are you managing motherhood, having a baby and running a business like this? Any tips or strategies around that?
Oh man, thanks for asking. He is my baby. It's my first baby. I'm definitely ready for more. He's 10 months. He took a step last night. We're right on the verge of him almost walking.
Oh my gosh.
And it's been a learning curve managing motherhood and entrepreneurship. I'm a very type A business oriented woman, and motherhood throws all the curveballs at you. And so I've had to learn to pace differently. I don't know what I did with my time before I was a mom. I am so much more efficient with my time. And I actually just hired help this past week. So for the first, almost year now, I can't even believe that. I was just managing my husband and I and still running the business. But that's because of going back to the systems that I have in place and leveraging AI and having a team that supports me. I very intentionally set up my business in this way. So when I did become a mother, I would be able to have this time. And my 7-figure business doesn't require me to be at the desk all of the time. But I'm happy to be back at the desk a little more because there's more AI tools I want to build out and more curriculum I want to teach and just keep sharing the knowledge that I've accumulated over the years. So it's an exciting time. I'm actually writing a book on money and motherhood as well. So this is my second book. I'm slowly writing the chapters. I just finished chapter 2. So
oh my gosh,
that's my passion project right now. I had a friend who asked me the other day, like, how do you shut your brain off, Carly? Like, what TV shows are you watching? What are you watching on Netflix? I'm like, well, I'm writing a book for fun.
You sound like me.
That's my life. Yeah.
I love it. I've seen your course a couple of times because I've got so many books in my brain. You've got like a program or something that you occasionally do around how to write and publish a book. That's you,
yes,
right?
I do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
How often do you do that?
Twice a year, typically.
Oh, nice.
Once or twice a year. Yeah.
Very cool. I love it.
Yeah.
You're amazing to me. I think you're fantastic.
Basically, anything you want to do to outgrow the office, you want to do speaking or podcasting or course creation or write a book or digital products, just know that it's possible.
Love it.
Yeah. Therapists can do so much. And you're amazing too, Kim.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah. Everybody already knows that.
Well, thank you. But thanks for taking the time today. I'm glad to see you. And you guys reach out. We'll have all the information in the show notes. And thanks a lot, Carly.
Thank you.